Alright, day 3. It's early afternoon right now, and so I'm going to talk about day 1 first. I made my original video day 1. At that point I had already had 1 orgasm, and I went on to have 4 more that day, so only 5. I didn't meet my goal on day 1. The biggest reason why would be I couldn't get myself in the mood. I couldn't stay in the mood, I should say, because I would put on porn and it would stimulate me, and I would start feeling in the mood, but then once I had gotten off, once I had had that orgasm, that first one, I was like good to go. I think my body is still kind of in that pattern of just quick, quick, done, good. So I think that's going to be kind of my first challenge here. I was hoping to get to experiment with having better orgasms and more defined, but I think my biggest struggle to begin with in this challenge is going to be just getting to 10 a day, being in that mood enough. So I'll explain. Day 1, my first orgasm, we used a dildo and a vibrator, and having that double stimulation really helps make it happen quick for me. So that was just a quick, I wanted to rate these too. So I'm going to start rating my orgasms as well, because I think that kind of, one would be like, was that even an orgasm? Like, just that small amount of, okay, well, my pussy's a lot wetter now, and I feel a release. I know I just had an orgasm, but can you even count that? That would be a 1. All the way ranging to 10, which would be like, holy shit, I just saw Jesus. Just the best you could have. So number 1, first one, I would rate, it's kind of hard to go back. I don't have notes on how I felt, but I remember it being maybe a 4. The second one, I threw on some porn. I decided to kind of tease myself along through the video. It was like a 10-minute video. I thought, okay, well, kind of keep it going a little bit, try and get a really big orgasm out of that. That was like a 5, maybe a 6. It didn't, I would 5, not even a 6. It didn't quite break that threshold into the amazing orgasm area. I really haven't had one, and actually I haven't had one since the orgasm that I had that kind of made me decide to do this, actually. That's kind of a whole nother story, but I had some stuff happen, and it was a very emotional experience. It was another dimensional experience, really. And after that experience, I came home and masturbated, and just had blowout and fucking amazing orgasm. I've never had a 10. I've had 9s, I would say. That was a 8.5. So it was just like, whew, how do I get more of these? I think is kind of where I ended up there. So, anyways, moving on to, we talked about that. 3 was pretty much within 10 minutes of 2 that I switched from videos. I started looking at like Tumblr GIFs, and those get me a lot too, so that helped keep me in that mood, stimulated, turned on, and I was able to have that third orgasm, which it was about the same. I don't know, I would put it more 4. It wasn't quite so intense. And these last 2 I just used clitoral stimulation. I didn't use a toy for these. Same with number 4, I only used clit stimulation. I used my own fantasies for that one. And that again was maybe a 4. My last one, number 5, I used a toy in porn. And that just, they were all just kind of 4s. Nothing great, just kind of an orgasm, like whatever. Interesting though, the next day, man, wow, I didn't even, and another funny thought as I realized this, but, because my car died last night, but yesterday afternoon, I was driving home, hadn't had an orgasm yet, and it's the afternoon already, and like, I really need to get going on these orgasms if I'm gonna try and make my goal today, since I totally failed my first day. So I'm driving and I'm thinking about my fiance, thinking about an event that we're hoping to go to later in the month, and fantasies. I have a fantasy of us being with another woman, and so I was just kind of thinking about that, like him fucking her eating me out, and all the scenarios there, and I started getting really horny. I'm driving, I'm like, okay, this is something I haven't done yet. So I put it in cruise control. I'm on a back road. It's a straight shot. I drive this road. I used to drive this road every fucking day. I know this road. So I'm like, okay, that's no big deal. So cruise control, driving down the road, put my hands down my pants, and I start masturbating. And 2 minutes, and I got myself off. It was a 3, maybe. But it was cool. It was, I never, I mean, I've done plenty of things in my car. If you follow my, webcam life, I do things in my car. But never done it while driving. That was brand new for me. So while I was driving, at least, it was quite an experience. It's actually something I'd like to try again. But it's a little dangerous. I don't know. If you have an intense orgasm during that could get dangerous. So I feel lucky I just had a 3. It's kind of just like break me in for the day. So yeah, I came home a little bit later in the day, got laid down in bed, and started thinking of fantasies again. These fantasies were more geared towards, random partner sex. I like the thought of, being with a married man. Like, that gets me. I mean, I wouldn't want it in real life, in reality. A lot of my fantasies I wouldn't want in reality, but they do turn me on. So that was something I used. This time I used a dildo, but I didn't use penetration. Instead, I left my panties on and just kind of pressed the dildo up against me as if, it was like a guy like wanting to poke it in, but panties were in the way, and I used that. I had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had 5 orgasms that way. One on its own, and then the other 4 in a row. These were all ones. These were all just the smallest little orgasms in the fucking world. They were nothing special. So yeah, that was 7. I made it to 7, day 2 yesterday. So I'm getting there. I'm slowly increasing it to 10. I think maybe my goal of 10 to start off with was maybe overreaching, but I know that I can have 10 orgasms in a day. I used to do it all the time, so I'll definitely get there, and then, once I'm there, I can start working on improving my orgasms and understanding them better. This is all about. Some things I've noticed already, from paying attention to just changes that in my mindset, my mood, my outlook, whatever. Well, first off, when it comes to getting myself to an orgasm, getting horny for to even get to that point where I want to stimulate myself, there's been a lot of anxiety there, especially day 2. Through those 3 to 7 that were small, I felt a lot of anxiety. My anxiety kind of builds up right here. I have crystals. I need to get some more of my own. That'll help just kind of heal my anxiety. So what I'm starting to wonder, and I'm going to pay more attention to, is how much anxiety plays a role in how good my orgasm is. So I'm feeling all this anxiety for those 5 that I had last night, and they were all super small, and that was when my anxiety was the highest. When I had that 8.5, that created this whole idea I'm doing now, I was in a very peaceful place. I was very relaxed. I was very just with myself, and I was able to have a wonderful orgasm. So I'm thinking there's something to that, and I want to explore that more. So that's something I'll be doing. But one other thing I want to point out, that was really cool is the amount of motivation I had yesterday. I struggle with a lack of energy. I try and do things that will kind of give myself more energy, pump myself up, but it's just one of those things that have always been a struggle for me, and I have to find ways of dealing with that. Yesterday I woke up, I wasn't extremely energized when I woke up, but as I got up and I started my day, I felt more alert. I felt more in control of the choices I was making to make that day a good day or a bad day. And I was able to make myself have a good day and get a lot done and accomplished. I cleaned my house, I did my laundry, I got so much shit done. I didn't get my 10 orgasms, but that was something else I found really cool, was that motivation. And I have it again today, even. My car broke down last night, as I was saying earlier. I decided to go on a late night drive and got out into, I like to drive back roads, got out into a back road, and car started acting a little funny. It got locked in gear, in second gear, and then it battery started dying. Basically, the battery was just draining away. So I got it home just as it died completely, and got up this morning, tried figuring out what to do, walked that big hunk of battery 6 blocks down the road to a battery place, and so, and then had to organize all this other stuff, because me without transportation is me without my legs. With my job, I really rely on that. So I've had the motivation today to get through all of that. It would normally be a huge stress for me. I would have woken up just going, oh God, can I just not have this day? And I'd probably still be sitting here like, what the fuck do I do? Excuse my language, but I mean, hell, I'm saying orgasm and pussy and whatever else, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, it's definitely, I feel a lot more energy, a lot more motivation, more focused and alert. My head's feeling clearer. I'm feeling happier. So I'm gonna keep on this. I haven't had any orgasms yet today. I have to work later on today, so hopefully I can get a good few in before then. I still gotta figure out how I'm getting to work. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to update on. Hopefully in the future I'll, it'll get a little more in depth with things. Right now it's just getting myself to the point where I can have those 10 a day, and kind of just documenting my experiences along the way. And with time, hopefully we all learn a few things.